All right, let's call the meeting to order. We can have our pledge of allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Can we have a roll call, please, Denise?
Okay, Debbie? Here. Dave?
Here.
Carolyn?
Here?
Norm? And Jeff?
Okay. Visitors, we have anybody that wants to have anything to say? No, okay, we'll move right on. Comments from the audience? Yes, Paul?
The last meeting, you mentioned that by the end of that week, we were supposed to have the website up and running. Or you said by Friday. Maybe I'm interpreting wrong, maybe I don't know which month you meant.
I guess, maybe I don't know either,
Okay.
yeah.
It's been over 3 years that we've had anything, and it's been 13 months since any updates have been on the website. I think that's pretty poor for a guy that administers websites or
Yeah.
computers. Also a question about Callaway, what's gonna happen there?
Callaway is supposed to be blacktop. The contract was signed for in the fall, but they're not gonna do it until they bring in their portable pit, I guess, and do everything.
Has anybody looked at that road?
Yes,
They did.
And what do you think of it?
there's portions of it gotta be dug out.
Quite a few places should.
Yeah, where all the grass.
Well, not only the grass, you have
Well, it's
a
alligator,
lot of gatoring,
yeah.
Yeah.
shoulder, or your edges are going to heck.
Yeah.
Pat and Dave Leif from American Asphalt and I were over there, not this year, but last year,
In the fall.
in the fall, and it was bad. And he said, that needs to be dug out and start over. It's only gonna get more expensive as it gets left, so.
Well, I know what the city would do in that case, they would mill it in place and lay a new road over the top. I know that's more money for the guy.
Well,
That's
that may be
the
what,
fact,
because
that
he
may
left
be
it
what'll
go.
happen, yeah.
Well,
I think that Dave Leif was, he's pretty much on top, cause I asked him, I said, okay, so now we go through another winter, what happens? And he said, at this point, it's really not gonna make any difference. So, it's
Well,
just
this-
all the work that's gonna be, it's,
all the
They're just,
extra.
yeah, it's just gonna continue to add on.
Yeah.
It's-
But he's supposed to have that done this year, isn't he?
yes, well, the contract was for last fall, but because of the weather that everything got shoved back so far.
Yeah.
He said he would not do it because it got too cold.
Okay, but now it is scheduled for this year, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
but, we're at their mercy. So, anyway, any other comments? Approval of minutes, July 14th, 2014.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for July 14th, 2014.
I'll second that.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the minutes of July 14th, 2014. Is there any further discussion on them? Any changes? Otherwise, let's have a vote.
All right, Debbie?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Carolyn?
Aye. Plan Commission, we don't have anybody here. Is Kevin, did he talk to anybody about
He's
nothing?
just talked to me half hour ago and said he was coming, so.
Okay, all right. And Library, Ruth said she would be here, but she would be late. So, when she comes, she can give, and both of them, when they come. Supervisors, well, the first two are not here. Norm, did get that newsletter out. I was very thankful for that. The only thing in it, it doesn't have his name, other than his name, he didn't get any what do you call it, appreciation for pulling it together. Garbage ordinances and newsletter, I don't have anything. I have a meeting next week, with the Northwest Recycling. So that's all I have. Dave?
I guess the main focus, and we've checked on it a couple times, is the Stott Avenue project. The concrete is in place, the approaches and driveways are in. The material that was dug out, was put on and along the slopes to create the correct slopes. Along the ditches, they were seeded. I talked to a representative from Tonville Plain, and that's a go. As soon as the blacktopping, he's wondering when that was going to happen, and again, we're at the mercy of American Asphalt. So, Carolyn handed me a note here, and I'll read it. This is from Bruce and Patty Brink. Dear Carolyn, and the Millentown Board, it's dated 8/7/2014. Thank you so much for getting Red Hawk Lane ready for a smooth and pleasant ride. We appreciate all you do for our town of McMillan and are glad to have people who take interest in service. Peace, Patty and Bruce Spring. So that's nice to hear. I believe the culverts on Galvin are scheduled to have concrete put in the bottom of the 18th. So that should kind of complete. We've got all the base course on. I reported that last month. Ditch mowing, calcium chloride has been put on. What else? What am I missing? I guess that should be about it. So, anybody have any questions or comments? Chip sealing is done. And crack filling. I did have a comment from a resident over on Penny Lane. And they were wondering when they were going to get chip sealed. And I said, it was on the answering machine. I was gone on Saturday. And they're questioning why their Penny Lane wasn't done and the rest of them weren't done. The rest of them were in that area of Candlewood, Edgewood, Deer Run. But they were just done last year. But they seem to think that we should do it every year. And I said no. So that was some of the feedback I had over the last month. Anybody got any questions or comments? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, we're working on the park. We're called the bark out of there, put sand in for the sidewalk around the sandbox area. We've got a sidewalk going from the pavilion to the sandbox area. We're gonna put a fire pit in. We're gonna put brick around all the landscaping, and we got all kinds of bark and wood chips to take care of. So that's in the process. And then I do have a list from Jeff on what he's gonna need from the town for the website. Did he give you that list or no?
No, he told me he had given it to you, so he
Okay.
didn't, I said he didn't need to repeat it to me.
Well, it's quite the list. You're looking at 3 months worth of stuff. You know how to do files and then put them all into a zip file?
Is it right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know how to put them in files on the computer, zip file, I don't know.
You put all of it into one, and it's a zip file? Okay, well, what we need is 3 months worth of agendas for the town, and you would put that into one file. 3 months worth of minutes into a file, and, all of that into one file, and the financial statements from you and the treasurer. We also need the agendas and the minutes for the last 3 months from the fire department. We also need from the plan commission and joint plan commission if they have them. And then you put each section into individual files and then put it all into one zip file. And then he said that would work for the website.
I can give him paper copy?
Give it to her.
Okay. best I can do.
So he needs
So you
from,
need it, everything retyped?
No,
You should be able to scan it
Oh.
in and,
you should be able to scan them and put them each into a separate file, like the agendas for the town board and then the agendas for the fire department and.
well,
Is there someone at the fire department who has it on computer?
Carolyn should have them. You should be able to send them to Denise, correct?
I'll look.
so from the joint plan commission, you want, agenda minutes and.
Anything else you
action.
want to throw in there.
Okay.
And we need the same from the plan commission, so the one you might want to talk to on that would be Doug Lee. And then he might be able to,
I think John, you better ask John.
no, I'm talking about putting it into files and stuff, Doug would be.
Oh, he would help with the files, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And just the last 3 months, you said?
That's what he said, instead of trying to crowd it with the last couple of years, you know, because who's gonna really look at that anyway? 3 months would get everybody current. That's it for me.
Okay. Correct, approval of checks and financial report.
For the beginning of the month, July 1st, we started with a cash balance of $604,951.29. Receipts in July totaled $43,309.39. Disbursements in July were $54,337.38. After making the adjusting payroll liability entries, the ending cash balance on July 31st was $597,343.33. For checks, the checks issued from the last meeting through today was total $378,779.59. And that's checks number 12872 through 12925. And also check number 15, 16, and 18. And I wanted to point out that check number, and it's about 2/3 of the way down your front page there, check number 12896. It's to the United States Post Office for $435. We're gonna avoid that.
Wait a minute, I don't have to.
896, okay.
Yeah,
I see it.
yeah. The reason is that, for the newsletter, we discovered that we can save a lot of money by going through ODC and using their bulk mail permit. For the amount of mailing we do, it's advantageous just to use their permit. And so, I don't know what that fee's gonna be. Norm took care of it. I haven't gotten a bill from them yet, but we won't be using that post office check.
Oh, he was able to get to them?
He took it to ODC on Friday. They went out on Friday, and you guys had them in your boxes on Saturday, I understand?
Right.
Mhm.
Wow,
Yeah. So,
wow.
Wasn't it like $250 or something like that?
Oh, no, here.
Wasn't that much?
well, you're right, Dave, on the postage part, because for the postage, the rate is the same, because we use their bulk mailing, but then there'll be a fee on top of that to
Okay,
ODC. But it'll be a smaller fee than paying for the
Bulk.
$220 permit
Right.
we would have by.
So the 12896 were
It's voided.
It's
voided.
going to be voided, yeah.
Okay. Also, then there was, I want to find the one for Farner Asphalt, 12898. That is not the full amount. I withheld the payment to Farner for Meadow until we're
Satisfied with
satisfied with the road, because there's a problem there,
issues.
issues of some kind,
Yeah.
anyway. So they're well aware, Farner is, so they won't be surprised when they don't get the full amount. Anything else here? Okay. Do we have a motion?
I'll move to pay the expenses from 12872 through 12925, along with 15, 16, and 18 check numbers for approval.
Excluding,
Minus 12896 being voided.
and I'll second.
Okay, the motion has been made to approve the checks 12872 through 12925, 15, 16, and 18, minus 12896. Is there, the motion's been made and seconded. Is there any discussion? Or questions? Okay, let's take a vote.
Okay, Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn,
Okay, do we need a motion to approve the financial report?
I'll make a motion to approve the July 2014 financial report presented by the clerk.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the financial report July 2014. Is there any further discussion about that? You want to take a vote?
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye. Okay, we move on to Ann, the treasurer's report.
And the checking account balance from the bank was $582,315.95. Outstanding checks were $2,596.62, leaving a checking account balance on July 31st of $579,719.33. There was a $25 money that was received in July and deposited in August. So that would leave the checking account balance at $579,744.33. The savings account is $6.81. That's the interest that we earned after I cleaned it out last month. And I transferred that money into the checking account already in August. Fire department replacement apparatus CD is $70,319.49, and we've cashed that out in August also. So, public works replacement apparatus CD is $40,076.90. Park fund savings account is $13,673.18. Fire department savings account is $33,522.62. Total cash on hand is $737,343.33. Subtract the loan for the fire truck of $140,000, you end up with a total of $597,343.33.
Move to approve the financial report presented by the treasurer.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the treasurer's report of July 2014. Any further discussion?
When did we make our first payment on this $140,000?
March or April of 2015. Okay, no unfinished business?
Carolyn, I didn't do the roll.
You need to vote on.
Oh, I thought we did. I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
We're in the discussion part of it.
Okay, all right.
Okay,
Any further discussion? Okay, all right.
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn.
Okay, one more quick thing.
Yes,
We had those two checks that were really old and we voided them and reissued them. They've both been cashed now, so that's been taken care of.
That's a good thing.
that's amazing.
We're current with everything then.
Well,
Pretty close. We're into 2014.
that's right.
Very good. Great. Good job, Ann. Okay. Unfinished business. We have none, and that I'm aware of. New business. Approve, disapprove picnic license for fire department fall fest.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second?
The motion's been made and seconded to approve the picnic license for fire department fall fest. Any further discussion? Okay, vote.
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye. Next item is discussion approval of sale of extra fire department helmets. Maybe, oh, you know what? We need to go back to Ruth and Kevin here, don't let me forget, okay? Anyway, maybe you'd like to explain this, Kevin.
We had a bunch of, 2 years ago, we had a bunch of helmets ordered. We had extra ones. One of them just called a mistake, I guess. Anyways, Hewitt Fire Department is looking for helmets, and they're willing to purchase 10 of them. So that would pretty much get us back in line where we should be. We take a little bit of a loss, but a little bit of a loss is better than an entire loss. So.
Mm-hmm.
And they're 2 years old already?
And they're 2 years old, yeah. So my mistake, it was made. Finally got somebody that'll buy them. So as long as board can approve it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll make a motion to approve the sale of the fire department helmets.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve the sale of the extra fire department helmets. Any further discussion?
And how many did you have?
10.
10, and what was the agreed upon price? Did you?
$100 a piece.
Okay,
We paid $140 something new for them.
okay,
So 2 years. They're only good for 10 years.
correct.
So at the end of the day,
Yep.
like I said, I made a mistake. I apologize.
You're recouping most of it, so that's great. Okay, discussion of bids for reconstruction of Man Road. What this is we think that we need to start looking at what we're gonna need for Man Road. I don't have the description of what.
Carolyn, I don't think you all voted
Did
on
we
that.
vote? Not vote on that either? We
No,
I guess we did.
because Dave was discussion.
did. Oh, yeah. Oh, my
Come on,
God.
Denise, get it together.
Bad. We're moving so along here, okay.
Right through here.
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carol,
Aye. Motion carried.
Without paying attention there, Debbie.
Thank you.
Not to interrupt again. You got any questions for the fire department? Otherwise, I got Hewitt training on the house down there. I'd like to go.
Did you have anything else to report?
No.
Other than what you sent out.
Otherwise what I sent out. So, and Denise, you now are getting that.
yep, I am.
I got
So
a question, you're gonna start burning that house when?
next Monday.
Okay.
The plan is 6 o'clock,
Mhm.
and if everything goes good, 8:30, light it up, let her go.
Okay,
Cool.
You're done.
all right.
Your stuff's over there for
I
tomorrow.
know, I see that, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yep.
Good work.
Okay,
Why don't you let Ruth go right ahead?
Ruth,
You want me to?
yeah.
There've been several announcements in the paper of upcoming events for the library. One is David Stokes, and he's a nature educator. He'll be speaking tomorrow night about plants and animals in your own yards. And then the Nerdy Girls author to discuss her latest book, Lisa Borrow. She's a Marshfield author, and she'll be at the library 6:30 p.m. on August 20th. And then this one is Minion Page. She collected all sorts of games in the last year, and she's giving them away this Saturday. I'm gonna put these on the bulletin board over there, if anybody wants to look at them. In the last 2 meetings, some statistics have come up. Summer reading programs were 593 youth for their Fizz, Boom, and Read program. They have, which I think is interesting, a tail wagging tutors, which returns children to read to a therapy dog for 15 minutes and they're going to do that again this fall. And the second summer reading program that they've got going is 1,000 books, and there are 641 children in that one. And then Bruce and Patty Brink hosted a neighborhood gathering to inform their neighbors of the library program and the library building program. So.
Very good citizen. So this contract is with the children, the 641, they agree to read?
Yeah, there
So
are,
many books?
yeah, with parents, and there's different age groups that do it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a
That's a lot of
total.
kids.
Hmm?
That's a lot of kids.
Well, that's, as I was looking through it, I mean, I don't think people realize how much that library really is utilized. Now that our museum is downstairs, I see how many kids and families come in for the movies in the afternoon. There's probably 20 to 50 people down there watching one of the movies.
Well, I know George, he goes down there at least once a week on the library, picks up books
Yeah, so it's
every
good.
week.
Yeah,
It's busy.
good, okay. Thank you, Ruth. Okay, now we will move on to discussion of bids for reconstruction of Man Road.
Do we need to have that engineered?
We've been doing the dig out thing, and what we wanted to do in case we had any extra dollars, because we figured that is gonna be the next one to be rehabilitated, we wanted to put a bid out there and bid it by the foot.
Okay,
So we could figure out, you know, do as much as we can every year, start from one end. We had a couple dig outs over the last 2 to 5 years.
could we get that bid both ways, as a total project and then by the foot? I don't know.
Sure, you could put it in any way you want. I mean, for a large capital outlay, in other words, do it all at once. Sure.
The thing is that if we have money, the reason we're doing the foot, if we have money at the end of the year that we want to invest in that.
Well, we could still put that towards Man Road anyway, put it in a CD for next year if we have any left over. I mean, it's gonna get done this year, is it?
It could if the construction, depends how long the construction, it gives us an extra option, is all it does.
Because I mean, when you're talking, we're in August now, we wouldn't approve until next month. Then you're in September,
Right.
so we'll probably have snow October 1.
No.
You don't know that.
Oh, yes, I do.
I just like to throw it out there, see what we get back.
Yeah.
And that's all we're asking for.
Now, would we be starting from 13 this way?
Yes,
Okay,
because with,
Or Lincoln this way, I'm sorry.
with E,
Mhm,
you're certainly not gonna do anything down there
Mhm.
until after they're done,
mhm.
so.
Okay.
So that was kind of the thinking behind it, and talking with Carolyn and Pat and Tom,
Mhm.
that was the reason. And we could put it in as a whole project too, but
Could we do it up till like St. Joseph? You know?
That may be what we can do. I
Right.
mean,
Yeah.
you know, depending on what the bids come in.
Well, I'm just saying, you could probably have it bid both ways, couldn't you then, up to that point?
sure.
You know, you never know what you're gonna come up with. They can do the whole thing compared to, you know, so many feet, but that's kind of what I would look at.
And
Because that's gonna
that'll
be
give
kind
us a
of,
measuring stick to see what is better to do it that way or the other way.
exactly,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
I'll make a motion to approve. Put it out for bids for reconstruction of Man Road.
I'll second that.
Motion's been made and seconded to put out for bids for reconstruction on Man Road, of Man Road. Is there any further discussion? Okay, Denise?
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye. Okay, the other thing here that we have now is approve, disapprove, refund of garbage expenses paid. I have a gentleman that called me the other day that said, first of all, he was late paying his second half of taxes. He's just sent it in this week. And after he put it in the mail, he noticed this garbage charge on his tax bill. And he said, I've never had garbage pickup. And he said, because I have a dumpster. And so I said, well, you know, people that have complained of this in the past, we've had them go right to advanced disposal, and they some way or other work it out. But he said, no, he didn't want to do it that way. We get the money, and he's been paying us for 5 years that he hasn't had garbage pickup, and so therefore, he wants his money back.
I have a question on that. Anybody else that's in town that has dumpsters, how does that work?
They get whatever the yearly per week charge is, they get credit back toward the dumpster.
Okay, so we don't refund anything. They give them a credit.
That's more or less a.
That's the way advanced disposal works it.
But advanced disposal is the one that gives them the credit, correct?
Correct,
Okay.
right?
But what he's asking the board for is the money for the 5 years. And I told him that I would bring it to the board and the decision would be made as to, I mean, you know, we've given him the bills and he's had it for 5 years and he hasn't looked at it. I mean, that's not really our responsibility to, I mean, I can see maybe for the last tax bill, if he wants to go to them and get that against his dumpster.
Well, that's his responsibility then to go to,
It is, but I would not approve of, he wants board approval to go after the 5 years. I think
he needs to go to advanced disposal and see what he can come up with for an agreement with them, and that's not ours.
yeah. So,
I mean, evidently they must have dropped a container off at his place. He must have noticed it sitting there at one time or another.
no, they've not. He says he's never had a container. I don't know. Anyway, I need to have this somehow or other on the record.
I'll move to disapprove the refund for garbage expenses incurred by an individual in the township. That's my motion.
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to disapprove the refund of the garbage expenses paid. Any further discussion?
Debbie,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn.
Aye. I will work with him
Yeah.
with
well,
advanced disposal
Right,
with Dave
right.
Marks, because I think that, I know I've done this before with some others. But it really is their responsibility to,
I understand working with him, but I don't think we wanna promise him a refund, that type
well,
of thing.
no,
Cause that's not ours. That's his baby.
so, okay. All right,
We're done.
any other comments, discussions?
That's his meeting ever.
Okay. Motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion is made and seconded to adjourn. Oh my gosh, 7:35.
Denise? Vote.
Aye.
Debbie, Dave,
Aye.
Carolyn.
I pushed as fast
She's
as
gonna
I
be
could.
here very early tomorrow
Yeah.
morning for voting, so.
So this is
Oh, that's
good.
right, we got preliminary. I think.
Yeah.